You've got all these dreams you keep bringing up, but you haven't actually made any moves to get started on them. Let's figure out why, and more importantly, let's get you started moving today to get one step closer to your dreams. Now, I want you to think about all of the reasons you say for why you haven't done what you want to get done. Maybe it's your birthday, maybe it's too late, maybe you're too tired, maybe you got too much going on, whatever. Like, what is it? Whatever comes to your mind. So whatever came to your mind right now as a reason for why you're not doing what you want to do, that is an excuse. Now, this isn't going to be a video saying, you need to stop your excuses, and you can know that's not what this video is about. I just want to define what an excuse is. So now you can start being conscious of when you're making them. Because right now, you're not conscious that you're making excuses. I want you to be able to label what you're saying and what you're doing, what you're putting off, as just an excuse. Now, we all have excuses for why we aren't doing what we want to do. Now, the next question is, where do excuses come from? Why do we all get them? Why do some people have excuses and other people don't, and other people don't? It all comes down to vagueness. Excuses come from being too vague, from not having a plan of when you're going to do the thing you want to get done. But when you have a plan, excuses out the window. I remember, I think it was either Mother's Day or Valentine's Day. I can't remember what. I think it had to be Mother's Day. I remember when my brothers were coming down, they were coming home. I was living with my mom at the time. And they were going to come home for Valentine's Day, which meant I was not going to be able to create content. Because one thing about me, if my family is home and I'm with them, I'm not worried about work. Like, relationships matter so much. And I hope you really take this to heart. Like, this is a little tangent, like, off topic, but relationships matter a lot more than anything else. Why do you want to be this great, successful thing if you don't put time into relationships? Because once you reach the top of your mountain and you're alone, and you're walking down it alone, like, what's the point, you know? So this is just like a little side note, but yeah, when my family's over, I'm not doing no type of work. And I knew that going in. So I'm thinking, okay, well, my family's coming home. That means I can't record videos. I'll do it next week. That's going to set me back. Because at that time, I was recording 7 videos a week. And I was doing that all in one session. And so I'm thinking, okay, I'm not going to have time. But then I knew that's an excuse. That's an excuse. So how can I get the vagueness out and be more specific? We're going to get into that a little bit later on, but once I realized it was an excuse, I told myself, okay, well, how can I get these videos done? Well, I know my brother's going to be home, and so when I wake up and the day starts, I'm not going to have the time to do what needs to get done unless I wake up early. And so that's what I did. I woke up really freaking early, 4 a.m., and recorded 7 videos. And by the time I finished my last video, I heard my mom's bedroom door open. And I knew, okay, now the day started. I'm going to take a nap. And then when I wake up, I can chill out my family all I want without having to worry about getting videos done because it's already done. Now, it would have been easy for me to make that excuse and keep that excuse if I hadn't recognized where it was coming from, me being vague. I didn't really think, okay, this is happening. So what can I do? How can I make a plan? It was, they're coming down. I don't know when I'm gonna make these videos, so I just don't think I can. You know, like that you see how different that energy is? When you're vague, excuses are able to come. So whenever excuses are coming I'm hoping now you'll be able to recognize when you're making an excuse, whenever they're coming, now you can tell yourself, well, okay, that's only there because I don't have a plan. I don't know when I'm gonna do this thing, so let me figure that out. And then the excuse will go away. And that's what you wanna do. But you don't know how? Now we're in this section, I'm going to tell you how. Think about what you want to do, like whatever it is. What you've been wanting to do, but you still haven't done it yet. Maybe that's you want to learn how to cook better, you want to make more friends, you want to get better at some skill, read a book, write a book, meditate, exercise, whatever it is, garden, whatever it is. It can be big or small. Now, what are 1 to 3 behaviors you can do right now to make the most progress on the thing you've been wanting to do? So it's something you really want to sit down and think about. For me, I know I wanted to get better at basketball, and I said, okay, what's the 1 to 3 things I can do to get better at basketball? And there's literally just one thing I came up with: shoot hoops. And that's what I've been doing, and I've been getting better at basketball. So this stuff works. Now, when you figure out the things you can do, the 1 to 3 things you can do to make the most progress on your goals, the next thing you want to do is put those behaviors in this formula. I will do behavior at time or event in environment. Now let me run through those elements really quick. Behavior, simple. You already wrote that down. Time, simple. 5 p.m., 8 a.m., 9, whatever. Event is something you're already doing. Like you already brush your teeth, you already have dinner, you already take a shower at night. And environment is just where you are. Office, bedroom, bathroom, whatever. So for example, I said I want to shoot hoops, right? And I want to get better at basketball. What's the behavior? Going out to the basketball court, shooting hoops, right? So I could say, I'm going through this plan right now, just giving an example of how you can do this. I will walk down to the basketball court and shoot hoops after I close my laptop down for work on the court. So honestly, I could reward that. Say, I will shoot hoops after I close my laptop down for work on the basketball court. Because in the original one, I put the environment in the behavior, but now I moved the environment towards the end of the formula. But regardless, you get my point. You understand what I'm trying to say. Like, this stuff really works. And you might be scratching your head thinking, that's so simple. How is something that simple really going to work for me? This is called implementation intentions. And I'm not going to go into full details of how this works because I want to be done with all this content in like 5-6 minutes because I want to eat breakfast with my girl. So if you really want to look into how effective this is, just look up implementation intentions. But I will say it will improve your odds of doing the behavior you wrote down from 35% all the way to 91%. So this stuff is very powerful. Now, wherever you wrote your plan down, you want to make sure you can see it daily. So if you wrote it down on your phone, make it your wallpaper. If you wrote it down on a piece of paper, hang it up somewhere you can see it regardless. And just make sure that you have whatever you need to do that thing in your environment. If you said you want to go bowling, make sure you have a bowling ball. Okay? Or just something that reminds you of bowling. If you said you want to do push-ups, make sure you push up bar, like you want to pull ups, make sure you pull up bars on the door. So when you walk in, you'll actually do pull ups. It's just that simple. I want you to understand one thing. No one ever became successful by not doing the small things. They didn't overlook the small things. They didn't get there by accident. And you're not going to get there by accident too. You're going to get to where you want to go by having a plan. And to have a plan, you gotta know what you want to go to. You gotta have a goal. And I walked you through all of that. I walked you through knowing what you want and making a plan for doing that thing. That's as simple as it is. So all you gotta do from this point on is just follow out the plan. And it's not hard to make a plan. I specifically found the easiest way you can make a plan to get started right now. Now, our society wants us to make excuses because when we place the blame on other people, we are essentially giving away our power. Do you know you have creation inside of you? You can create whatever you want. You can change whatever you want. You are a human being with that type of power. And our society doesn't want you to know that. It wants you to be stuck. It wants you to be a sheep. It wants you to be stuck. It wants you to be a sheep. And once you wake up to that fact and you say, okay, I'm not going to accept this, because so many people are so fond of making excuses and pointing the blame and pointing the finger and just saying it's everything but me. But the second you can start looking out and say, actually, it's not this and that, I'm the reason, I can change things, I have the power, that's when you stop making excuses. And if you get a group of people who aren't making excuses anymore and are dead set on seeing change, change is going to happen. Now, if you're watching this video, chances are you want more for life. You don't want to live this default mode where all you do is go to work, come home, watch TV, eat food, go to sleep, wake up, go home, watch TV, sleep, oh, day off, now you party on a day off, party on the next day off, go back to work. Like, you don't want that. And you don't have to live that. You can step off the default path and get more than what the average person has. But you gotta be more intentional about how you're moving. And that's why I made the course, Live by Design. It's the first link in my description that will show you how to leave the default mode of life forever and be way more intentional about your life. Now, I will say plans are literally the only reason I'm able to do every single thing I'm doing right now. I'm working full time. I'm consistently making content. I'm going out and exercise. I'm making friends. I'm taking time for myself. I'm relaxing. And it's all because I make plans. And obviously, I didn't go into too deep detail in this video because, like I said, I'm on, like, it's 6:55 p.m. right now, a.m. It's 6:55 a.m. right now. I want to be done in 2 minutes. So this video may seem rushed. It is. I will never lie to you. But let's be listening to you. Your best will change every day. Normally, I'm not rushing. But things change. But what shouldn't change is the fact that you show up. So yeah, I can't be like all slow-winded and like really take my time to this last video when I'm still showing up. So let me lesson you just off the cuff, like just still show up. So if you wrote your plan, drop it down in the comments, hold yourself accountable and put it out there. And even if you don't put it in the comments, just have it written somewhere. Like that's the key. Now once you quit accepting excuses, you quit accepting mediocrity. It's that simple. And from here on out, your life is going to go uphill because you're not going to say, oh, this is the reason, that's the reason, that. It's going to be no excuses. And so it's going to get done. But if you continue to accept excuses, then your life isn't going to get any better. I mean, what else you want me to say? You want me to lie to you? I'm never going to lie. I'm never going to lie. So you have a choice. Life go up or life go down. And it's all dependent on if you accept excuses or you don't. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you want more, subscribe. And I'll see you for the next one.